That time of week again, it's Bet or Forget. I'm Brittany Taylor, he's Wayne Hawkes. Wayne, romantic warrior will bounce back in the Cox Plate. Bet or forget?
Forget it, Britt. I didn't like him that much the other day, and I probably don't like him anymore this week. Hard but fair.
Ooh.
He needs to improve a hell of a lot.
Okay, yes, he does need to improve on what he did the other day, but I think you're harsh to jump off him because there were excuses there the other day. He was just way too fresh.
Yeah, and he'd be too fat like me and all that sort of stuff. I know.
Well,
Trainers
they have said that.
Yeah.
They went into it saying that he was only probably 85% fit and grand final day would be Cox Plate.
Maybe, but you know what? He had a gut buster on Saturday, I'm sure. Because as a horse trainer, you're going in having 5 months between runs. You got a month between the Turnbull and the Cox Plate. I know they do it different in Hong Kong, but when in Rome, great line. You're in Australia now, and you do need to change your conditions of training a little bit, I feel.
But I also think that now that he's had this run in Australia, that the experience is going to benefit him. The fact that...
Yeah, that will.
Not having been our way of going, not having been to Flemington, the experience of doing all of that is going to have to help him improve.
It will, and there's no doubt about that. He will be better for the experience because any first experience, you're always better for the run, let's say, but gee, he needs to... I'll go the other way. He did, I reckon, too much wrong to be saying he's a star. Remember this, I didn't say this. They, whoever they are, they know who they are, they said he's a star. Stars get it right. Most of the great stars don't make many mistakes, and he certainly made a few. There's no doubt about
Well,
that.
I'm not saying he'll win the Cox Plate. I say I bet he'll improve lengths.
We're talking about star horses. What about star jockeys? Damien Lane. Do you reckon he's going to be the rider of the carnival?
Oh, yeah, I'll bet he will be. You only have to look at his recent form. He's on fire at the moment, leads the Melbourne Jockey Premiership, and his strike rate's just under 25%. Like, that is huge.
Yeah, it is huge, but you know what? That's going to come back a little bit. You'll have J-Max and Mark Zara's going to come with a 4, Blake Shin. Yeah, you know what? Mark Zara's probably one for mine. He's on Gold Trip, and who says he can't win a Cox Plate in the Melbourne Cup? That'll give him a few bonus points.
I just think when you look at Damien Lane, every time he's gone to Japan, he's just furnished more and more. He comes back, he goes to another level.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, J-Mac's going to have the backing of Chris Wallace. That's certainly going to give you a long run with your money for a long way if you're a J-Mac fan. So it's probably out and open, but I'm not saying a big forget on Damien Lane. I'm just giving it a little one because I think the opposition is going to be pretty strong and tough and good for racing, isn't it?
Speaking of good for racing, what about this weekend? How about this one? The Caulfield Guineas is a better race day than Everest Day.
Forget it. The Everest is $20 million. You've been banging on about this for weeks.
I don't know. I just look at the Caulfield Guineas and you've got this big build-up between Stapati and Militarise, and the story within that I love is the ownership group. You've got these big, heavyweight breeding operations taking on the everyday people from a small town in Victoria. Like, there is so much to look forward to in that storyline.
Really? What about the Everest worth $20 million? What about Mr. Brightside? What about the King Charles for the first year that is going to be called the King Charles? You know what? They're both great race days, but forget it.
Oh.
Sydney for mine, the Everest.
So I go the Caulfield Guineas, and you look at the undercard, and just looking at the other Group 1s on the day, don't even go even further than that, but you get to see Perth's Amelia's Jewel.
There we go. I would have been disappointed if you hadn't mentioned her 3 or 4 times.
Versus Queensland's Antino, so it's a bit of a state v state rivalry there. And then Alligator Blood in the Might and Power is one of the most popular horses in the country.
You're right, but you know what? Racing's the biggest winner this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. It is a huge day. In fact, it's probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, race day on the Australian calendar now in both states. And can't wait for that, and can't wait for next week's debate on Bet or Forget. Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you, Britt.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website